I want to take this space to talk about networking, attending events, attending conferences, and how you can be an ideal player or an ideal character in these type of events. Now, one of the things that we have to keep in mind is if you want to be successful and you want to obtain business from going to conferences, from going to networking events, or just events in general, you have to make sure that you set up a system around these. What do I mean by a system around this? You have to have consistency. One of the things that I recommend the most is if you want to make a system where you obtain clients out of networking, going to conferences, or going to events, you need to set a goal. What can that goal be? Hey, I'm going to make sure I go to an event or a conference at least once every 2 weeks. What does that put you at? It puts you at least going to events twice a month. Now, you want to have that on a set schedule, and there's tons of events, tons of conferences that you can go to. What you just want to make sure is that you establish a system around it and that you're executing it so that you can get your return of investment. Now, let's say you already set the system, you already made a decision that you're going to be going to these networking events or these conferences at least twice a month. Now, I want to get into detail about how you need to be acting at these conferences, at these events, especially these higher level where you're going to be meeting some of these high level commercial building owners. Now, the number one thing you need to focus on is being able to add value. The other thing that you want to make sure you focus on is you want to make sure that people realize that you are present. How can you make sure that they notice that you are present? Whenever you go to these events, you have to make sure that you participate. A lot of times when you go to these events, these conferences, there's going to be opportunities, there's going to be times where they're going to want for individuals who attended to participate. You have to make sure that you're one of those individuals. If there's an opportunity for you to participate, you need to make sure that you take the stand or that you take the microphone and that you share. Now, when you're sharing, you don't want to share just anything. You want to make sure that you share things that add value. And what's that going to do is automatically, the moment that you stand up to participate, by the way, one of my favorite sayings is leaders participate first. The moment that you stand up to participate, people are going to look around to see who's speaking. People are going to look around and identify who is this person who is adding value. That's one of the easiest ways for people to know that you're there and you exist is participating. The other thing that you got to think about is that you're probably going to say something that's going to be relatable. When you say something that's going to be relatable, that's going to make it easier for people to approach you, for people to start a conversation with you. You do not want to go to these events. You don't want to go to these conferences throwing around your card. Hey, you're a commercial building owner. I'm a roofer. I can help you, or let me help you. None of that. You don't even have to say that you're a roofer. What you do should let them know that you're a roofer, whether you're wearing company gear or whether you're not wearing company gear. If you're able to add enough value, there's going to be enough people who are going to be interested and who might approach you at the end of this conference, at the end of this event, and say, hey, I really appreciate that you share this, or I learned this from you, or I identify with this from you. By the way, what is it that you do? And that's when you talk about your roofing professionalism or your roofing skills. So whenever you go out there, your biggest goal is not to let people know that you're a roofer, obtain business, or tell people, hey, let me help you, let me help you. Your biggest goal is to get noticed, get seen, and add value. And from there, be able to drive all of these other factors. So make sure when you go in, you're adding value. Hope this helps.